What's up, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with another Transformers review. And today, the figure that we're reviewing is the Power of the Primes. Titans Return. Siege Apeface. And he's got a face and an ape. It's amazing. This is one of the much advertised in the 80s Triple Changer Headmasters. They took one of their gimmicks for the Transformers line, that being the Triple Changer, and then they took another gimmick from the Transformers line, that being a Headmaster, and they're like, dude, what if we did them both? And so that's why we got this figure, plus his buddy Kate, Snapdragon, but we don't have a Snapdragon yet. Fingers crossed, Snapdragon's actually cooler than Apeface, if you ask me. But yeah, so here he is all the way around. He's looking pretty well on point, I think. He is. It's interesting. So they've got some of this scuffed paint apps here, but it doesn't look nearly as much like scuffed. Like the idea was that, oh, this is like battle grime or whatnot. You know, somebody like slogging through whatnot, or and the paint is scratching off, and you're seeing the like bare metal underneath, and that's what I've always assumed that's meant to look like. But this, I don't know. It looks like super like digital camo. In fact, especially if you like look at this, it's all like rectangular, like pixels. It looks like digital camo to me, but in silver. I don't know. Anyhow, in terms of accessories, he's got this shield here. This is molded in clear plastic. I understand that when you're taking this off of the vehicle mode, people have been having issues with this thing being snapped. So just be super careful with it. It is kind of obnoxious to get off of the vehicle mode. And that's one of the things I don't like about this, but whatevs. And that'll just plug into any peg. Being a Siege figure, there's of course pegs here. You could even plug it into his elbow if you really feel like it. Yeah, you can. Forearm, leggy. No. Oh, there's a couple on the feet. There's even a couple on the back, though these aren't really useful for anything. You can stick it right here. There we go. That's where we're going to put it. That's the best. Now, we'll stick it right here. That'll do. What the hell was that? People making noise outside my house. He also comes with a gun, fits in his hand, works out just right. There he is, all geared up. In terms of articulation, starting from the head down, his head is, this head is basically one of the Titans Return headmasters. So he's got the little like ball joint that is basically just a swivel. If you turn his head too much, you're going to start seeing the ape face of Apeface. Well, at least that's most of the ape face. This is not the full ape face. I'll show you that in a minute. No waist articulation whatsoever, which is kind of a bummer. Arms go all the way around. This is benefiting from the Siege engineering, so there's no ball joints on this except for the technical one up on the headmaster guy. Arm goes out for full tree pose, bicep swivel. Elbow bend of about 90 degrees. His elbow will actually go back all the way. Double jointed backwards, but only single jointed forwards. No wrist articulation, but he does have a transformation joint here if you want to make use of that. Again, no waist articulation, kind of a bummer. But due to the way they have this engineered, this piece on the backpack goes and it connects like on the bottom side of his butt. So, of course, that's not going to work out. Leg goes forward that much, goes backwards hardly at all. Thigh swivel, about 115% Van Damme. Bend of about 90 degrees at the knee. Ankle tilt. And a toe bend, mostly for transformation, but it's got a nice little detent on it. So, it'll hold it. It'll hold it by just the toe. Just the toe. It holds it just fine. But alrighty, he is a triple changer, so we'll do just like I normally do for triple changer reviews, and we're going to flip a coin for what alt mode. This is an Indonesian 1,000 rupiah coin. And so this will be vehicle mode, this will be ape mode. Here we go. Vehicle mode it is. So to transform this guy up into vehicle mode, first thing you want to do is you want to take off his head. To transform it, you just do like all of the headmasters we've seen forever. Who turned his head around? Silly, silly, silly. And he's got the same articulation they've always had. His shoulders are technically ball joints, but they really are just swivels. His legs have got a bend here at the hips and one here at the knees that goes both ways. And it's all, nice and tight. Tiny little paint apps on his face. Looks pretty decent, actually. Of course, the face detail on his back plus on his legs. So, a little bit different there. But anyway, we're going to stick that aside with the other accessories and get this guy transformed up. You want to take this part and flip that down. You want to take his arms, fold them around. This tab right here is going to plug into this area. Is going to plug into this area right here on the shoulder. Like so. Maybe I should have folded in the hands first. Like that. Plug it in. Plug that in. I'm going to start unfurling all of this. These wings are tabbed into the back of these purple feet. So you just kind of untab them and pull them out to the side. The legs, you're going to open these up like this. This part's basically going to fold out. This whole leg is going to kind of combine or worse down. And then you're going to fold this back in, and you've got a tab right here and a tab right here. This tab is going to plug in to this little kind of divot right here, and then this tab is going to plug into a divot right there. But I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I'm going to plug in this foot, and we're going to combine or worse the other leg in. Open, combiner wars, close, foot. So I found that for this figure, kind of you just gotta work everything together all at the same time. And that's basically how it goes. And then you want to take this and squeeze this in here. You've got a hole here and a hole here and a peg here and a peg here. You're going to plug those pegs in. And that'll kind of keep everything together. That'll actually do a lot to help keep everything together. If it wants to go, go, damn you. I feel like a substantial part of this figure is made out of that polyoxyl methylene, that kind of like flexi plastic that they use in joints a lot. And I know that at least part of this figure has got to be, but at the same time, I'm not sure that it is as much of it as I think. Alrighty, so there is a little tab right here, and there is this little divot right here along the inside of the arm, and that tab is going to go into that divot. And so you just kind of bring it around and plug it in like that. And there's that. These will plug down. And then you'll take, this is the cockpit here. I know this looks like a cockpit. That's not the cockpit. This is the cockpit back here. And this is super annoying. So, the way this one plugs in, it doesn't just sit in here. His feet have to plug into those little pegs there. Otherwise, he doesn't sit properly and this doesn't close properly. And then it causes you more troubles when you're trying to get this to go on top of it. So you have to plug the feet into the pegs. So you kind of bend him at his knees. Bend his knees forwards like that. And then using your finger back behind it like this, you got to kind of wiggle it in like that. And then you got to push him down so that his legs are straight. So he's seated fully. And then it closes. And you stick this on top of it. And he's sealed in there for good. Which is kind of obnoxious. Oh, by the way, this is that joint that I don't like. Crap. I should have showed you guys everything I wanted to show you before I did this. You know, I'm going to take it off in a second anyhow. Last but not least, you've got his gun. Gun goes anywhere you feel like it. For whatever reason, so his fist holds this just fine, but for whatever reason, all of these peg holes are super loose for the gun. All of the peg holes. And so, but the hand holds it just fine. But every single other peg hole on this figure wants to hold this gun like phenomenally loosely. So the only ones that even come close is basically that one right there. That'll hold it pretty straight. And this may be, I don't know if it's a line wide defect or if it's just my sample. I don't know, but there you go. So there he is in his jet mode. It looks like a brick with wings. Like this would not pass a wind tunnel test at all. So it must be a space plane, I guess. But alright, let's get him transformed into his ape mode. First I gotta try and get this wing off without breaking it. I'm borrowing this from my buddy, so I certainly don't want to break it. Is the wiggling technique working? Maybe I'll just like put some effort right. Nope. Yeah. Right there. Lever that out. Pull out his head. Comes out much easier than it goes in. Alright, so the way we want to transform this is, these are his legs right here. And these are his arms right here. Fold that out. 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 And so you just want to kind of fold the wings up and take this part, fold this back. And you'll see that from this mode, actually, you'll see that this kind of stays pegged in a little bit. It's because it's basically is all done. This will kind of stay in here. I think it actually has a proper pegging place. Yeah, right, like so. You'll see how these tabs have a little hook on them. They're meant to hook into this spot right here. Meant to. It's engineered that way. Do what I say. Yeah, like that. Nope. Nope. Of course, now without the nose cone keeping these parts pegged together, they don't want to stay together very well at all. Yeah, we'll go with that. So stick them like so. And then you want to fold up this guy again into his head mode, but this time you want to put him whoosh, like that. And that'll plug into there like so. And then put his gun. Yeah, we'll put it there. And then we'll stick this. I don't know. We'll stick this nowhere, I guess. Maybe like that. I don't know. So there he is on his ape mode. And, it looks pretty true to his G1 self in that he looks like a blocky robot ape. It doesn't look bad. He's got short little legs, long forearms. In terms of articulation in this mode, his legs move about like that. There is no outward movement whatsoever. He's got a knee joint that moves that much. He's got an ankle joint that moves that much. He's got this chunk that's permanently attached to his leg. His shoulders are on ball joints, strangely enough. And they will go, if this wing wasn't in the way, they would go all the way around. But, just put them back that far, forward that far. Out most all of the way. His elbow bends like all the way. More than you'd think an elbow should bend. A little bit of wrist pivot on here. So you can be like, hey. And his head is also on a ball joint, so it will look up and down and rotate a little bit. Of course, any kind of work you do with this is going to start to dislodge this part off from his chest, which is going to negatively impact the displayability of your figure. But yeah, there's Apeface. He's not bad. He's certainly a valuable piece of the G1 aesthetic collection. We've been getting this interesting little revival of, really strong revival of G1. And I think they're determined to just redo everything now, which I guess I can't really say I'm bothered by, especially if we end up getting a Commander class Star Saber out of it. Hint, hint, Hasbro. Hashtag Commander class Star Saber. So yeah, it's all right. It's an all right figure. Certainly, it's on par with the Hasbro aesthetic and engineering level. In that it's not amazing, but it's not like crap either. This will probably cost about $30 if you can track him down. He's just now starting to come out. I haven't heard of anybody finding him on a brick and mortar shelf yet. I'm probably wrong, but I haven't heard of it myself. People have been picking these up from Amazon and their online retailers. So that's probably a good place to go look for it if you need one of these today. But yeah, there we go. That's the Siege Apeface. If you guys watched all the way through, that must mean that you are a true fan. So thank you very much. You guys are fantastic. With all the stuff that's been going on with YouTube lately, I have marked my channel as not for kids, because even though I know that I review toys, and toys are one of the things that could vaguely fit into the super 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 non-specific guidelines that they give. You can either die on your feet or you can die laying down, and if it's kind of a damned if you do and damned if you don't, I'm gonna be damned for doing. And my demographics show that I have absolutely no children watching watching my channel anyhow. So you guys are awesome. You guys are also all adults, male between the ages of 34 and 44. So thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. And everybody be good to each other and have a great day. See ya.